your host, Will Morales, and for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this podcast is about the ups and downs of dating and how to navigate through it. Today, my guest is Ash Pariseau. She's an American writer and certified relationship consultant, educated through the ICF Accredited Academy. She's written for many different digital and print publications, including EV Magazine, Hope Magazine, Arena Group, and several others. She has worked as a relationships editor for Hope Magazine and as a blogger virtual assistant for UK's premier matching website, Cupid in the City. Well, Ash, thank you so much for being on People on Dating. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm good. Me and Ash have agreed to, well, more her to be my monthly guest, which I'm looking forward to, and having her on every month to talk about the topics of dating and all that good stuff. So today's topic is a good one. It's about gaslighting, among other things. So anyway, Ash, tell us again, how did you get here? What was your journey like, to become a consultant? You have an ebook that we'll talk about. So what was that journey like for you?
Well, I just started, like a lot of young women, just trying to figure out things for myself in dating. And then, at some point I just started blogging my experiences, what I was learning. And then through that, I really discovered a love for writing. So I started contributing some of my work to online publications. And things just kind of picked up from there. I would write advice articles, and people would respond because I was gaining readership through time. And I would get a lot of feedback from women wanting to know, um, wanting to get advice about their personal issues that they were going through. And I realized that if I wanted to help women in the way that I wanted to really help them, I needed to learn how to better connect with them on a more personal level. So I decided to go into a coach training program. And I went through the Academy of Creative Coaching, which is accredited by the International Coaching Federation. And then through that program, I got a certification in professional relationship coaching. So now I still do the writing, I still do the blogging, but I'm also adding consulting one-on-one with women so I can better help them with their personal issues.
No, it sounds good. Well, again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. So today's topic is about gaslighting, and it's funny. Last night I had dinner with a couple of my friends. One was a guy, one was a girl, and we would talk about different topics, and that topic came up about gaslighting, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm going to have my guest Ashley talk about it." And then so the guy says, "Oh, is it up already?" I said, "No. She's going to be, I'm going to talk to her tomorrow and we're going to, discuss the topic. And once it's edited, of course, I'll send it to you. So for my audience that might not know what gaslighting is, your interpretation, Ashley, what would constitute gaslighting?
Yeah, so actually, I mean, from what I've noticed, a lot of people they they confuse manipulation with gaslighting.
Okay.
So, manipulation is the control or influence of a person, typically in a skillful manner. However, the definition of gaslighting is manipulating someone using psychological methods to cause them to question their reality.
Mm.
So, in other words, gaslighting is a form of manipulation.
Okay. And have you noticed with the women that you consult with and just in general everyday conversations with women or even guys, have you noticed that that topic come up a little bit more? Do the women or the guys notice that they're being, for lack of a better word, gaslit? If that's such a term?
I think that there is more awareness around this idea. Um, so I do think that there is an uptick in conversations around it, which I think is a good thing. I think it is good to be aware of it and learn what it looks like, so that they can ultimately speak out against it.
Now, one of the things about gaslighting and things like that, being manipulated by thinking you're crazy, that you put your bag here and then somebody says, no, you didn't, you put it over there, whatever that may be. Is Do we become aware of that, or is that something that maybe over time we become aware that, wait a minute, this guy or this girl is saying these things, but this is not true. I know what I did, is that built over time, or can somebody notice this right away? What's your opinion on that?
From what I understand, I think a lot of people have an intuition when there is gaslighting happening. I do think a lot of people have an intuition that something's not right. Like,
Mhm.
my experience with something is different than what they're saying it is. And they might not always be able to identify it, but
Mhm.
internally it's like there's something inside, they're like, this isn't right, because what I'm experiencing is real and valid. um it's something that they, I think, probably like over time they learn.
Yeah, what's scary about it is if you fall for it so much, now you start questioning your own sanity and your own judgment and things like that. Or is that more in tune, I guess, with the person just trying to get over on someone, just they don't value them as a person or as a mate, or a spouse, whatever that may be? Are we seeing, is that a possible solution? I shouldn't say solution, but is that a possible outcome of that, where that person doesn't care about who they're manipulating, who they're gaslighting? Did my question make any sense at all?
Yeah, I think I understand what you're asking. um I think that a lot of people, some people probably do it deliberately. Is that what you mean? Is like,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
do people do this deliberately?
Yes.
I think some people probably do,
Hmm.
but I think others might do it in kind of in an accidental way. I think that there's a lot of ways in which people are inherently selfish in certain ways, and they're always like, we're always out for, looking for our best interests. That's just, that's normal, that's natural, that's a part of being human.
Right.
So oftentimes people think, well, how can I get what I want in this situation? Through time, we are conditioned to learn about what we want, about how to get what we want. Even when we're young, like when we're little kids, we learn what it takes to get what we want from our parents. Can I have
Mm.
that piece of candy, or can I go stay the night at my friend's? Like, we learn the psychological tricks. And
Right.
so I think through time we learn like these little gaslighting tricks that get people to question their reality, in order to manipulate them to doing something that we want them to do.
I see, I see. So, I mean, it could be at any age. I mean, like you said, maybe sometimes kids do that. They manipulate their parents. I know I did when I was young, and I know some of my friends' kids. When we were younger, you see how the kids are. They start crying, they start throwing tantrums because they're not getting the candy or whatever. So now, as an adult, it might be a little bit different. It might be some subtle ways to get what you want and all that. Is being guilt or a guilt shame also part of it, if that makes sense, or shaming someone into trying to get what they want, is that another part of gaslighting? Are there things that we should look out for at least at the beginning, to make sure we don't get caught up um in that wave of being, like I said, for lack of a better word, gaslit?
Yeah, shaming and guilt tripping are definitely two types of gaslighting. There are
Yeah.
several from what I understand. But it's things like, so like, say for example, if you're at a party and your boyfriend, like say they're, like say your boyfriend is at a party and they slap the ass of another woman, and then the next day you're like confronting them and you're like, well, why did you do that? And then he says, well, you had too many drinks, you're not remembering it correctly. Or that's just one way that people might get someone to question, like, it didn't really happen like that, or you're going crazy. Another one is, you're overreacting, you're being too emotional. um let's see, how else do people I've seen a lot of people go, "Oh, well, uh, all these people agree with me, so you must be not thinking correctly because my opinion on, such and such, stance on whatever topic, and then everybody agrees with me, so obviously you're the one that's in the wrong." So that's another example I've seen. Um, yeah, there are definitely several different ways people gaslight.
I remember one time, I was with this woman, this is a few years ago, and she had a tendency to, when she drank, she became very flirtatious. And I remember telling her about it, and she would say, I did that? I don't remember. I always said that she had selective memory, on purpose, because she was trying to gaslight me by saying, "Oh, I don't remember doing that." And it's funny. One of the times I had a photo. I took an actual photo of her hugging this older gentleman, and I said, "That was you." She goes, "I don't remember doing that." I'm like, "Oh my god, I got the evidence right here." And I seen her do it more and more times. That after a while, I just say, this person ain't for me. I'm out of here. I don't like that. When she gets drunk, she becomes a different person. She becomes a flirt. She doesn't remember where she's at. So again, I always thought of that she was just gaslighting me and things like that. In your, again, in your consulting and your journeys, your writings, um again, is there a way that we could just cut that bullshit out by just, can we walk away from it? I mean, when is enough enough? If my question made any sense.
No, that's good. I do think that it's possible to get away from it. Um, I think the number one thing is, well, first of all, make sure that it's gaslighting and, not other forms of manipulation.
Right.
But I would say, any type of manipulation is, a valid reason to walk away from a person or a situation if need be. Um, I would say collect the evidence, be
Mhm.
aware of what the different forms of gaslighting and manipulation are. Collect
Mm.
evidence, confront this person, speak out and set your boundaries. You have to set your boundaries clearly. You have to communicate them. You have to enforce them. Don't go back on them. And if the situation doesn't improve, you have every right to walk away from it.
I think that you hit the key is set boundaries. I think a lot of people on both genders do not do not set their boundaries because maybe they don't want to lose the person, or they don't want to be alone, and they'll put up with the bullshit. Have you seen that, or have you noticed that also, that some people just let people cross that set boundary that they have, and all of a sudden they regret it later on because shit, it was right in front of my face all the time. Because I know I've been there where I let a woman cross the boundary so many times that after a while I just like, what the hell am I doing? Have you seen that also? I mean, is it something? Um, is it a fear of being by yourself? That's the problem. That you let people cross the boundaries. You let people, go. You go against your own values and standards.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely part of it. Um, and it is hard. You know, you do fear losing somebody if you assert your boundaries, but you have to understand that's a good thing. If you set your boundary and someone falls out of the boat, why would you want that person in your boat to begin with? Like
Right.
that is just getting people that you really don't want in your life. That's just getting them out and opening up yourself to somebody who is willing to accept your boundaries and respect them and stay in the boat.
Mm.
And it is hard. It is a practice, you know, understanding what your boundaries are and communicating those early, which is key, and
Mm.
enforcing those. And then when situations come up, and they always will, say, hey, I have a boundary about this, you know, and then if if somebody does not want to respect those boundaries, then there are certain outcomes. And you might have to go, well, this is not cool with me. So we're going to go our separate ways. Sometimes it has to come to that.
I mean, basically, it's just having a backbone and just, putting your foot down and say, you know what, enough is enough. So I like that. I like to set the boundaries early in the relationship. Um, and we talk with Ashley Pariseau, right? Did I get it right this time?
Yes. Yes.
So Ashley, first of all, I want to thank you so much for being on People on Dating. I thought this topic was very important about gaslighting. Um, so for you, what are you looking to do in the next 3 to 6 months? What's the future of Ashley's, consulting, the business? What are you looking to do in the next 3 to 6 months? I know I'm putting you under pressure here.
No, it's okay. No, I'm definitely open to taking more clients for consulting. If you have any issues around boundaries, around, feeling like you're manipulated or anything, like anything dating relationship, um, finding the right man, finding the right person, uh, building your self-confidence, I'm available to help around that as well. So that's what I'll be doing for the next 6 months, is really getting some more clients in the door and just helping people one-on-one, because I really love to do that.
No, that sounds good. Talk more about your ebook.
Okay, so my ebook is actually a free ebook. It's just a freebie that I offer. Um, it is called 9 Laws of Setting Boundaries in Dating and Relationships. And it is your core principles that you need to know in order to draw the line effectively and unapologetically. So you can find that on my blog at damesthatknow.com. And it's on the sidebar. You can just see like the little image of the ebook cover. You just click on that and it'll ask you your email and you just pop that in.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely put it on the show notes. And talk more about your website. Like, if people go there, what can they expect to find?
Yeah, so I'm actually on a weekly schedule of blogging now. So I
Ah,
post every
nice.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I've finally got my life in order to where I can post schedule, like my posting schedule is definitely more consistent now, which I love. So I'm really happy about that. So damesthatknow.com, you can find my blog post 3 times a week. And just join in on the discussion. You can leave comments, share whatever you want to do, get my free ebook. So that's probably where you will be able to connect with me best.
All right, yeah. Again, I'll put everything on the show notes. Well, again, Ashley, first of all, again, thank you so much for being on People on Dating. I'm looking forward to talking to you every month. We're going to come up with some great topics,
Yes.
and hopefully to help everybody out there. And again, Ashley, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye bye.